call. This call is from
Daniel Larson.
This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time.
What's going on, everybody? As a US citizen, we don't have many duties to our country, but when the president that never was is calling random weirdos on the internet, I have a responsibility to let you guys know. You see, a man going by the name Little Sippy popped onto my feed a few days ago, proudly displaying his new Sonic Chew medallion. I knew it was only a matter of time before I saw him again. And people, the curse is real, like so real. Don't even mess with it. This dude, in a matter of days after putting on a Sonic Chew medallion, ruined his life. I'm not sure if he's aware, but Clark is involved with the FBI case because of this. Why would you willingly risk your freedom? And if you don't catch the eye of the government now, so many Daniel Wings are going to be messing with you. And he doesn't even seem like that bad of a guy. Just mistakes were made, people. This is just a small PSA. If you see a Sonic Chew medallion out in the wild, do not approach. Do not try to dispose of it. Run as far away as possible and call Chris Chan or Irate Gamer. You're the only people skilled enough to deal with the absolute madness that is the Sonic Chew medallion curse.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello, this is Daniel Larson.
What's going on, Daniel? How you doing, man?
Hi, I'm doing okay. My lawyer hasn't been getting back to me at all. I haven't spoken to him since early August.
The prosecution has filed a new thing in your case, a new document in your case that says you'll probably be in Springfield by December.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And also my lawyer, for some reason, has been, like, the last time I talked to him, which was early August, right? He told me that I was never in contact with the Vanderwalls or the label, which is false.
You said
because I was in contact with Grace before.
Something in your discovery for your legal cases confirmed that you were talking to the Vanderwalls or something?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It's confirmed, and there's even conversations in my legal discovery over social media where Tina has admitted to talking with me, which is true, where she's told me to stop listening to the trolls. I had to make my own living. I had to try to survive, and it became a survival thing where I was trying to, like, literally stay alive. And my family, my own family, was manipulating financials. They were telling me to cut ties with Tina, and I accidentally blocked the real Tina, not the impersonators. I accidentally blocked the real Tina, and I lost contact altogether. When I tried to regain contact, I couldn't. You see what I mean?
What? He's got multiple ones? I didn't even know. One's bad enough, but two? This guy's just insane. It's like burying radioactive material under your house and just waiting for the results. But then, to top it off, he's talking to the King Supreme of Insanity, even after months of being in federal custody, having $5 footlong party nights with Jared Fogle. If you guys didn't know, they're in the same facility. He still has not come to grips with reality that all of the Vanderwall stuff was fake. You'd think even as batty as Danny Boy is, after having the government tell him it wasn't real, they investigated it, even after Clark told Daniel everything that him and a bunch of other teenagers were doing, they're just basically controlling his entire life. After all of that, and it's false. He's so done, guys. Chris Chan took to his 30s to be fully cooked. Daniel Larson's speedrun been a Lolcow. He accomplished it all in less than 2 years. He's even doing it now, been crazy as hell producing content from behind bars. And homies, I knew when Tina actually responded to Daniel that one time, she sealed her fate. That was the worst decision she could have ever made. Who in their legal team told her that was a solid move? I hope she did it on a whim, but nonetheless, Daniel will always believe the real troll is Tina, not the countless Weens from now on. That was such a bad decision.
Tina wanted me to cut ties with Grace, and stop talking to the impersonators and only talk to Grace. And what Grace was doing was she was getting me in contact with her management behind Tina's back. When Tina found out, because I reported it to Tina that Grace was actually in contact. Once Grace's mother, found out, then Tina started having full-time contact with me. I needed to have 5 songs, an EP, before I can get the label deal, which is supposed to be $35 million, or $36 million. It was supposed to be record-breaking deal for 2023, but my family kept saying it was fake and wasn't real. And I tried to get help. That's why I was going on the M1 holds. Everybody at the hospitals were calling my family, telling them they needed to get me housing. They refused, and I was put right back on the streets.
Okay.
Well, all this was going on, law enforcement got involved and started telling me I was not in contact with Tina. And so I made the threat, which is why I'm here in prison, in jail. I made the threats to try to put an end to everything and drag everybody into the situation so I can handle things legally.
Yeah, I know that you were emailing me last night talking about when you're going to have a trial. You do understand that you have to, like, they've said you're incompetent to stand trial, and they'll probably hold you until you're competent. You got to kind of put on an act. If I were you, I'd kind of try to put on an act and, act as normal as possible to try to, for the psychiatrist to say that you're competent, so you can just go ahead and take a plea deal and get out. Because
yes, which is actually weird because nobody's telling me why I'm incompetent.
Yes, Daniel, the first Tina to contact you, an unhinged stranger, begging you to stop seeking out her daughter, was the fake one. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like the real person, but no. The real one was obviously malicious, trying to hide Grace from you, while Grace tried her best to find you, the love of her life. And to remind everyone, Grace during that saga, or basically the entire Daniel Larson story, had multiple other boyfriends, was in New York and LA, I guarantee you Colorado, at the same time as Daniel. But she was certainly real, right guys? Just seeking out the love of her life, a modern day Romeo and Juliet if you ask me. And did this guy forget the first thing that he heard when he called Daniel? That this has been recorded? I don't know if he's trying to help him or what, but I would not be giving a person in federal custody any kind of legal advice over the phone. I just wouldn't risk it. But this is coming from the same man who is swimming in Christian memorabilia. And then Daniel makes it even crazier when he's like, and how am I, of all people, the president, an upstanding citizen? I've only ever almost busted Mythbusters, How am I incompetent? Like, really? Now that's just impressive. Most people in prison sit back and reflect on their actions and either decide to try to change or get worse. But Daniel, he's just sticking with the same old mindset, just proving he most certainly is incompetent.
And psychiatry.
Do you have any idea how long you'll be in Springfield? Are they going to hold you indefinitely until they say you're competent, or what?
That's what my lawyer is shooting for. He's saying that they're going to try to make me competent. I never even knew what Grace was even saying behind the scenes, if that makes sense.
Just as you should probably just not mention Grace or Tina to any of the psychiatrists, because I don't think that's really going to help your case.
I don't think it's helping either. Yeah. Like, I asked my lawyer for verification on if it was really the real Tina.
And he said no?
And he said no.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because it's confirmed that, yes, it was actually them. And I'm not saying that there was a fake involved, but what I'm saying is that I was definitely at one point in contact. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. What I want for you is I want you to get out, and I don't want you to sit in Springfield indefinitely. So, there's the old saying, you fake it till you make it. You just got to realize what makes you sound crazy and not say that and just fake it until you can be found competent and then just, take a plea deal and you've already sat for a long time, they'll probably just give you time served.
Right, and my big fear is I'm afraid that I'm going to have to plead guilty because the thing is, if I plead guilty, then I don't think I can be with Grace.
Well,
I think
why do you think that? If you plead guilty, you might be able to get just time served. Does it affect?
Grace wants me to travel with her. She goes to London all the time. She goes to Paris. And there are certain countries, if I have a felony, I cannot go to.
Yeah,
and Grace has friends in those countries.
Yeah, there's certain countries. Yeah, I think you can go to London. I think the only main country you can't go with no felony is like Canada.
And Canada's a big one. I think her label's out of Canada. Columbia Records.
So if you,
I think it's out of Canada.
So if you do,
so there would be conflict there.
So if you do end up, being found competent, you're gonna try to go to trial and beat get a not guilty verdict on the allegations.
That's what we're trying, and my lawyer has told me that we're trying to get a not guilty.
Daniel Larson not mentioning Grace during therapy. I can tell you now, guys, that's not happening. This guy should know that's not happening. These two sound like they've been in talk for a while now, unless Daniel just assumes every ween that calls him is the same person, which I could see. All he probably ever hears about is Vanderwall this, Vanderwall that. Daniel has had a one-track mind since that fateful day he saw Grace on America's Got Talent, and the way it's sounding now, it's not changing. It's like a tick. He can go into therapy and try his hardest, but as soon as he starts doing his Daniel rantings, that restraining order is going to be making a lot of sense to that therapist. Oh, and then this guy gets Daniel saying he thinks he'll have to plead guilty on the phone. That almost sounds like an admission of guilt. To me, at least. If you was the lawyer going against Daniel, you'd be like, oh, this case is almost done for right here and now. At this point, if Daniel is going to keep getting calls from weens who are no doubt recording, he better hope he's found incompetent. It'll probably work out better for him. And Grace might want to start attending these trials and plead her case, because if Daniel gets out, he's not leaving her alone. He's just not going to do it.
Lawyer, I'm not going to plead guilty, and I'm not going to even make a decision until I know what's going on with Grace. And unfortunately, the way things are going with my family and the way things are going in my life at this time, I'm thinking about just cutting ties for my safety with my family for the time being.
With Bob and them?
Yeah, because Bob is not helping when I was on the streets. I don't believe he will help once I get out. I don't think he cares about my career. Same thing with my biological dad. And I think as far as my career goes and legal stuff when it comes to my publicity, I think that the Vanderwalls can...
This call is from a federal prison.
The Vanderwalls and her label could definitely help with that and keep me safe. I'm talking to the real Bob.
Okay.
It's verified with my lawyer, and I even know his home address. So
and he's not trying to help you?
He's not. Like, he thought that Grace was fake all along, and that I was never in contact.
Are you still friends with Clark?
I'm trying to be friends with Clark, but he's flip-flopping on a lot of information.
Yeah, I guess the feds are investigating him too. It came to his work. I wouldn't care if the feds investigate me. They already are, but yeah, I guess he's being scaredy. But yeah, I don't care about the feds too. I'm not scared of them. I should have had security all along, especially bodyguards. Fans were like actually coming up to me in person. Yeah, I know you've been dealing with a lot of harassment.
What am I going to do once I get out?
Yeah, a lot of. You don't have any idea when you'll be out?
I don't. My lawyer is saying, last I heard, that I'm going for 4 months, and if I get found competent, then I'm going to trial. So he said my trial could be sometime next year, but this is the first time I've heard of Tina trying to stop Grace, and I would like to know more information on that, but I am concerned that things aren't going to work out, because I also know that most of Grace's songs are about me.
It's so sad to think about all that Bob has suffered at the literal hands of Daniel, giving him money, working with healthcare, begging him to come home, and at every roadblock, any inconvenience Daniel faces, he immediately blames Bob and forgets all about he's done for him. I guess he thinks Bob is just made of money or something. It's not like he doesn't go out of his way all the time. The only reason Roaring Thunder got produced was because of Bob. The only reason Daniel didn't dine and dash every night, every day, every morning is because of Bob's and the Weens on that one too. And Bob's not even related to Daniel. It's just someone he cared about, and this is how Daniel paid him back. It's terrible. It's even sadder when you hear Daniel mention his dad. And maybe I missed it, but I never heard of Daniel Larson's biological father helping him at all during the entire Daniel Larson story that we know. I thought he passed away or something, but no, he's alive and just been watching all from the sidelines. And then there goes Mr. Sippy just throwing Clark right back under the bus. I was pretty sure they wasn't allowed to be in contact anymore, Clark and Daniel. If not, good job, Mr. Sippy. Well, if that's just not strange, sending Daniel pictures and pinups of other young ladies who seem to be of similar status to Grace, Sippy's just trying to get this man to crack under pressure, whether it's from Grace or a new love interest of his. But I don't even think it even matters, guys. I think Daniel is cooked. But we'll have to see. Is Lolcow plot armor stronger than FBI plot armor? Probably not. So with all that said, never touch a Sonic 2 medallion. Daniel Larson's probably never getting out. And make sure to drop a like on this video. And if you haven't already, subscribe, follow me on Kick and X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And homies, I'll catch you guys next time.